is delicious chocolate. The bad news is that's going to be more time on the Peloton, but it's going to be more.
I don't believe it till I take.
I love it. Congratulations. Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Lauren and Bradley. Their class was awesome and they helped out a lot while I was sitting trying to get a deal together and they helped me out a lot. So thank you.
Love it. Love it. Who else? Any other bucket fills before we move on? Going once, twice. So. Okay, what's happening next week? So we have today tech training with Lauren and Bradley today and Thursday. You guys want to tell us about this fantastic class you have coming up?
Yeah, so today we're going over designs. We're gonna go over how you can create custom emails, postcards, social posts, listing presentations, stuff like that, and then how you can like send that out automatically through your database. And it's really easy and pretty intuitive.
And Commands have massive updates.
Yeah.
And really improved it.
Yeah,
There's a lot of new cool features, so come out to our tech training, learn some new things, and I think they're actually really fun, so.
it's, I used to hate it, but it's so much easier to use now. I enjoy it a lot.
Love that.
I'm gonna do Logan first.
So what I just heard, yeah, Bradley was in Logan while Maddie was on maternity. So he came to us with some experience.
I thought you just popped out this amazing.
He was like day one. You know what I think it was? I think it was the training. I heard that Chris he didn't even really need a lot of training. Chris was just like, here's my brain, Bradley, put it in yours, and it worked out really good. Okay, so come to tech training, you guys. Designs and campaigns. I know a lot of you are sitting on listings that are sitting a little longer than they have been in the past, or you're revamping some things with your listing presentation. Just stop trying to overthink it and just come and learn how to make it easy. Right? Fair enough? Okay. The More Club is Thursday. So More Club, we are going to be talking, and More Club is production based, and we're going to be talking specifically about the deals or the dynamics of a deal. How to keep it together, what are you changing, what are you doing? That group of people, we wanted you to be able to mastermind together, and that's a lot of the feedback that we're getting is like, right now we're establishing best practices. Everybody wants to have like, give me the scripts, give me the best practices. Those are being established. So come to a training that is you're gonna be able to mastermind with other people that have minimum requirements of production that are in the trenches with us. And come up with best practices together. Let's bounce things off of each other. I think one of the biggest things, there's Steve's right. One of the biggest things that I think we all need to remember, and we're gonna talk about the NAR settlement, the changes, because we always do, right? But I think one of the biggest things we need to remember is like collaboration is key, and try to come first from a place of understanding. I think that there's a lot, I said in a class, you guys sat in the class with Craig Wagner, I said in a similar class, but with brokers, and the questions in that room are also very diverse. And so you may have someone on the other side of the deal that their broker's telling them something that your broker is telling you different. And so this is all about communication. Okay, so this is a great place to learn to collaborate and just come in with an open mind of maybe the way that you're thinking of something, challenge each other's thinking a little bit. Dalton and I did this the other day just in my office, right? Dalton came in with one idea, I said, I'm going to challenge you a little bit on that. And we went back and forth in some dialogue. And I think that's how we're all going to get better. Okay, so that's Thursday at what time, Bradley? It's not on here. 2:30. 2:30. Directly following that, we have a little mastermind fun mingle social event called Bites and Insights. And we're going to be going over a buyer's presentation mastermind. So that's at 4 o'clock. It's happy hour. It's fun. It's social. We're going to have some food. But we're going to mastermind a little bit around that too. So we're going to let it be as mastermindy or as socially as you want it to. So you can come and participate, or you can just come and eat and drink and have fun with people that you like in the industry. It's up to you. But that's directly following More Club.
And that's for everybody. Yeah.
And that's for everybody. Everybody's invited to that. I know there's a lot of people that are like, I don't know what my consultation, what I should be changing, what I should be doing different. Come in again, mastermind from people. We all are like brand new baby realtors again, right? Like everybody's going through these changes together. And the other thing I'm going to say about that is don't like completely lose your mind. Like, remember that we're professionals, we know what we're doing. We're just shifting our strategies. I think that some of us and myself included at times are thinking that we've got to reinvent every single wheel that there ever was in real estate. And that's just not the facts, right? We just have to learn how to work through the new processes. And then on Friday morning, we have compliance with Ken, and he's going to dive again into understanding the new UAR forms. And Ken, did you have anything you want to say about that one?
Yeah, it's gonna be more about expressing your value proposition. So this all boils around your value proposition and how well you articulate that. So, yeah, we'll talk about forms. I'll answer your questions. I think we kind of formed ourselves to death a little bit. So this is gonna be more of a mastermind as well, in that it's gonna be more of an intimate group because of the numbers and, you know, address your concerns, and we'll talk about scripting. We'll talk about how to find your value proposition if you don't have it, and if you do, how to
Love it. One of the things that I want to say about that was one of my big takeaways from Fred Wagner that actually didn't even come from him. It came from Marcus Green. And it was knowing the forms is one thing, right? Because we got to know what they are and what they say. We're going to talk about those a lot. Being able to articulate what they say and what they mean to your client is another thing, but really being able to articulate your value and why what you're putting that you're going to charge on that form matters, right? Because the form is just one piece to it. We've got to really be able to articulate all of it, including our value, to be able to really represent people, right? Representing people is not just about the blanks that you fill in on a contract. They're about actually truly being a fiduciary and confidentiality and loyalty and care and obedience and all those other duties that are actually required by law when we sign an agency agreement. Bites and insights. If you're coming, please RSVP. I'm gonna leave this here for one more second. Everyone can pull their phone out. And RSVP so that we know that we have enough food and drinks and whatever.
And while you have your phone out, follow us on social media because Bradley and Lauren post funny videos.
And there's gonna be some funnier ones coming in. Maybe 30, okay, everybody got this one? You wanna, okay. Okay, 75 hard participant drawing. Before I do the drawing, I would like to ask an honest question. If you're not participating in 75 hard, I really want to know why. Share it. No judgment. It's a totally judgment-free room. Mark David.
I think I missed the beginning, the kickoff and everything about it.
Okay.
What's going on with the summer?
So here's the good news, is that you can continue to join anytime. You didn't have, this is different than the 75 hard that you do for your health and your mind, your body. This is for the health of your business. And so you can actually join anytime. I had them. Okay, guys, they're lost now. But for the longest time, until this week, I had a stack of them here on this podium, which I'm guessing that means everyone took them because they're going to start participating. But you can start any week. Every week is a fresh week for you. We're running it for 75 days. But if you have not done it even one time, or maybe you started in the beginning and then you fell off and you're like, it's just hard. It is hard. It's supposed to be hard. Pushing ourselves to different levels and finding a new level of hard makes the hard that we feel right now easier. And now we have a new level of hard. So I love that. You can still do it. At the bottom of each team, our weekly recaps. Bradley, is it in the weekly or the team meeting recap?
It's in the weekly snapshot.
The weekly snapshot, at the bottom of that, there is a link. Is it a link?
Yep.
There's a link to go to 75 hard to see what it entails. Great answer. I'll allow it for you to start again. Who else? Anyone else?
Another thing to track.
Another thing to track. Do you think that it's the tracking itself? Could it be made easier, or is it just the getting in the habit of the activities? Just because you're not the only one, right?
Yeah, and it's either paper, is it digital, I'm like, where is it? Where is the paper, where's the digital? So I'm like, screw it, I'll just.
Do you like digital or paper better?
You like paper, she's like
I
me.
paper person, I'm moving to digital, so in that process, I'm like, back and forth, I'll share, not all on the paper, not all on the digital.
Jerry, do you want me to tell you what you need?
Bar of soap.
So I was.
Ooh, and then wash your mouth out. This was a game changer for me because I know I like paper.
I'm like a wicked paper person forever, and to be able to travel, I have got to get more digital, so unless like when you asked, is the link on there? I was wondering if you were talking about the link to track it on there. Cause I wrote down on my little notebook, see, I can go to the weekly tracker and there's my line for the link, that's the only link to find it, about it, not.
It's the only person in the world that writes down.
I know.
This is a fair question, and that's why I didn't ask you.
It's so frustrating.
Because if you're frustrated by it, that means someone else is. Cody might be sitting here thinking the same thing. He's
I
just
have
not gonna
so many
say it.
things to track, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah.
What is that? Don't pick on me. He's like, this is why I don't want to sit in the front row, Rusty. That's why no one sits here usually.
That's why.
Fair enough. So would a link to the actual tracker be easier than a link to the animation? Link for both. For both.
Yeah.
A link for both. And Sherry, let's connect on the iPad app that will change your life because you'll take all your notes.
It's an app.
It's, you can
Yeah.
write notes, but
She
all
doesn't
things
do
you.
apps, yeah. I got builders.
We're gonna help
Like,
you.
away.
We're gonna help you. It's gonna get easier. I promise. Okay, so that being said,
help with that too.
you did, oh, guys, oh, Tracy, this,
Yes.
literally saved my life.
It's
Notability,
saved
I
mine.
can't even take credit for it.
Wait,
Marcus told me about it. You
Like
can
that,
download
shout out.
PDFs.
wait, Rusty, I have one. She came to my house to set it up.
I
Just say
This
it.
is. I just love you guys. I'll do whatever you need to. I'll help you. Whatever you like. I was like, don't tell everyone stuff.
I'm
only
only
she lives 5 minutes from me.
Yeah.
But it really did, you can download a PDF and write right on the PDF. So for me, I'm like, I don't, no more trying to remember what I had where or finding that packet from that training. Like Gordon already knows now in all of our region meetings, Gordon emails me the PDF and he's like, I know you'll want this. And he just emailed it to me so that I can take all my notes right then. I don't have to find the paper packet, remember how it is.
I'm
So Sherry will change your life. It'll change your life. Okay, so that being said, the drawing, we get the pick of the book. And I just want to give another little shout out for this book. If you're looking for first time home buyers, this is a great little incentive to get them to come in and meet with you. If they come to your buyer seminar, you'll give them a book about owning their first home.
Is it your first home or is it why are you?
The proven path to home ownership.
So why you are first home?
Yeah, why are
Why
you?
are you your?
I like my way better.
I like it better.
Why?
Why
Just
you
why
are,
you are.
look
first
at it.
home.
Why you are first home. I like it.
I like that too. I don't know the intention.
You're like, that doesn't make any sense.
There is
Like
a
my,
KW Connect, I don't know where it is now, but that back the olden days. There's a class that's connected with that. And it's in association with that, so you can do a seminar and it's all written out for you, so if anyone's interested in.
And
doing
all the
first-time home
graphics are like
buyers-
similar, it all.
It all goes together.
Mhm.
I love it. And by the way, if you can't remember where to find something in KW Connect, there's a search bar.
Yep.
And seriously search for your first home and it will bring up anything that's connected to it. So
Home
there's
buyer
probably a
seminar.
PDF, there's all that. Also, Jessica, you have great taste because I have that exact same shirt.
Oh, Costco.
Probably gonna have it for like 3 years, but I love it. You probably got it, yours is fresher. Jen Simpson. Woo! I think you're probably wanting, so I'll let you do that there. Okay, this is coming up, so this is honestly a pretty big deal that we got this to come to Utah. So it's the Luxury Pro Speaker Series hosted in Park City, Stipendry. It's September 18th. That's my anniversary, guys. 20 years of wedded bliss. 11 to 2:30, lunch and 8 at Mastermind. If you are a Luxury Pro member, this is free. If you don't know if you're a Luxury Pro member, Rhonda Burdiner is our luxury ambassador. And there's several categories of luxury. So we should probably have her do like a little quick recap one day. But just so you know, if you have a luxury listing, you can use all of the luxury resources, regardless of whether you're part of the luxury division or not. If you sell more than 4 homes above the luxury price point, it's an earn in luxury designation that you'll automatically earn in. And by the way, you have to keep that status like it tracks you on a rolling 24. So, and then there's an option for luxury pro, which is even a higher level of the luxury, depending on how much luxury business you do. Anybody who wants to attend, it's $150. They're gonna have some great speakers. You can register right there through the link, and space is limited. So if this is something that you're interested in attending, make sure that you register for that. We wanted to let you guys know, you probably got an email from Enwar, but the Parade of Homes is having an open house today, Tuesday, the 20th from 2 to 4. There are a lot of homes that are still available in the Parade of Homes from Huntsville to all over the place, North Ogden, West Haven. You have a list of these from Enwar events. If you don't have it, let us know, we can send it to you. But if you want to go today after team meeting and check out some of the Parade of Homes and you didn't get a chance to go do it, this is a great place. Like, they love you to take video in their listings. They love you to tag them. So this is a great place for you to go and grab some content today. If you maybe didn't want to pay the $20 to go to Parade of Homes, but you want to see some of the houses. Family reunion, early bird pricing ends at the end of September. So right now it's $8.99. I know we've talked about this a lot. After going to Mega Camp, I'm just so excited to go to family reunion again, because I think this was one of the better mega camps that they've had. I feel like it was a really diverse group of topics, speakers, and to me, the magic, like, I would have paid the money just for the one-sheeters that they give you, because it's literally just a one-page little business plan on this exact topic. So if you're planning to go to family reunion, get your tickets now. They will go up. As you guys know, they'll go up now. They'll go up again in a couple months. They'll go up again. And also, as I've been telling you and preaching, after Mega Camp, the hotel rooms always go up drastically because everyone books after Mega Camp because they're riding the Mega Camp high and they're excited about family reunion. So get your hotel rooms staffed.
And for those of you that attended the party last year at family reunion, we're doing it again.
The awards gala.
Awards gala. So full awards gala, fully dressed up. And if you remember KW Success, we shut the place down last night. And I want to do that again, but with 3 times as many people. So.
And you guys know that I am a sucker for any reason to wear a great outfit and just hang out with my friends. So please come. It's our region awards. We're doing that again. Agent sites. Who wants to talk about that? Ryan, Bradley?
Agent sites were updated. If you did not automatically update them, you will notice that they were changed over for you. So if you guys want to customize those, we're going to do website design classes, or schedule a one-on-one with Bradley and I, and let's get your website up to what you want it to be. Don't go out and pay somebody else to have your website built for you. It's much cooler when we do it. And it's KW. So just come in, let's do some tech training on it. And see all the.
And it's already included in your monthly cost. Why would you pay for
cost.
something? Exactly. Okay, awesome. Here's some upcoming events at KWRI. So we've got the Color Real Estate Today from what, you're gonna miss that one. It starts basically now. But the Unconscious Bias in Real Estate is August 22nd from 12:30 to 2. These are incredible classes that are coming up. If you would like to have just a little dive into like some of the unconscious bias that we have. There's going to be an addendum to the MREA book. Interesting. This isn't just a read, right? It's a full addendum. We did not actually know about this.
Yeah, it's new, and I
Okay.
even think you can pre-order. I noticed that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I think you can pre-order right now. So they're going to have some new content regarding recent legal proceedings in the real estate industry. Isn't it so exciting, all these fun changes that we get to be a part of? You guys have an opportunity for the world we live in today. Yay! New opportunities. This is a little bit about KW Cares. We're going to watch a video on this and then also KW Next Gen. As you guys know, or maybe don't know, KW Cares is a 501c3 charity that is owned by KWRI. And our agents can apply for grants through it when something devastating happens in their world. And are you okay if I share your story? As you guys know, Allison had a very tragic loss of her husband in January this year, and KW Cares was able to step in and help with some of the expenses that go along with that. And while money is never going to making it sure does make it a little bit easier, you don't have to worry about that so much. So there's some ways you can give through KW Cares, and we're going to watch a little video on it. Maybe we don't have sound.
In 2019, my oldest son was diagnosed with brain tumor.
In early September 2020, Hurricane Sally devastated the Gulf States region.
My daughter suffered a stroke and she's 15 years old.
They did an MRI and they found a tumor in my brain. I'm not gonna ugly cry on camera, and I saw the email come through from Rachel Tang from KW Care saying that, that my grant was approved, and I was just like.
I was actually at home with the kids, surrounded by them when we got the news, so it was a really amazing experience.
When it's your time, all that you've heard and all that you pour into and all that you speak to and all that represents the culture of the company that you attach your own business to, when that literally shows up in your backyard as an 18-wheeler with supplies for 250 plus real estate professionals and their immediate family, it's another sense of overwhelm.
I mean, I always love Keller Williams, but this is just a whole, it's just a whole other level.
And there's one more. Oh, did you know that you can add a donation to KW Cares with every visit? So if you want to do transactional giving, you can just set that up right in the commission tab, and it can be $5 if you wanted to. Be whatever you want out of every commission check just to go to that, or you can do it just one time event. And then this is what KW Next Gen is all about.
About stewardship for the first 1 hour.
Send to Quantum Leap or send their kids to Quantum Leap.
We did the first one with Gary. Before you down. And what he did was, I mean, he's doing some other stuff.
Yeah.
That was pretty.
That's awesome. And we did make a commitment to Johnny that I would teach at the market center, I think within the next 60 days at our region event. So I'm gonna learn the best way that I do by teaching something else. But also to put Marcus on the spot, we've been really pressuring Marcus and Johnny to do one combined. Because we were like, imagine the power of Marcus and Johnny in one room, like would your kids' heads like literally just like pop off their bodies with so much greatness. So anyway, we're gonna do that. So this is me reminding you and Johnny to coordinate your, I mean, you guys have so much leisure time. I don't know what the problem is. But this is me reminding you to do that. So you can also make donations if you are really passionate about the next generation of this industry or just your kids in general and where they're headed. You can make donations to them. Well, the age group, I think for that is like 18 to 25 is kind of the target audience. Addison came to it when Marcus did it a couple of years ago. I had my kids go, not Riker, he was too little, but I think Addison was like 14. And she still had some good takeaways, but it was different watching her. I got her a special invite to the room, even though she wasn't 18, but like watching her brain kind of process things was different than watching my older daughter. So that was really interesting. And actually, one of the people that attended that, this was, I mean, 21, maybe 2021, 2022, something like that. So he actually did get some coaching, which was kind of cool. So he was already going to school and on his career path, but he was able to get some coaching from the KW Next Gen coaches, which was really cool. And he called me after, was just like, man, that was really incredible. Thank you for the opportunity. So we'll put that together, but 18 to 25 is kind of that target range.
We put it together, like I would love ones for any of your kids or family members to come, but this would be a great way for you to reach out to your sphere too. If they have, any of your clients have kids that if they're seeing it as a value from you, would be awesome.
Yeah. And I think usually they suggest a donation of at least 25 bucks and then that goes directly to KW. Remember that you're making all your calls in a TCP from the compliant way. Yeah, just don't do this. Don't make your calls unless you're checking that call list and text and emails. Remember, this applies to all of those things, right? We all are nodding our heads because we know we're all doing pretty fast. Oh, well, we're no guessing allowed. Sorry. We're just going straight to it. Ted or Jessica, do you guys want to come read this or you want me to read it? That was not guessing, sorry. We usually have some surprise faces, some question mark faces there. And I even reviewed the slides and didn't even notice that. I don't be surprised either.
So we're very happy to choose Cody and Alicia as our Gary Keller Production Award recipients. They're absolutely killing it. It's phenomenal what they've done in their business, and she says it's all due to Cody. So right. So Alicia's been licensed since 2018. Cody's been licensed since 2023. Prior to being licensed, Alicia was an RN since 2009. She did woman, child, also did nursing care in the home and pediatric nursing. And she also volunteers even today at a camp once a week, right? In the summer.
One week out of the summer.
One week out of the summer. Yeah, so she still volunteers and does that, which is great. They have been together for 6 years. They've been married for 3 years. They have 5 children, 2 of which are older, and they have 3 littles, which 2 of them are twins. So you're very busy with your family and your twins. Alicia started her real estate career so that she could quit her day job. Cody has been doing business analysis, is that right?
Yeah,
Over the base.
it's kind of a combination of like resource advisement, financial management, budget analysis.
He's a brainiac is what he's saying. And then he got involved in the real estate business. They've been a great team ever since. Russie will never forget the day that Alicia poked her head into her office and said, "Guess what I did today?" It's not always a good thing, is it?
It was a great thing.
In this case, it was. I gave my notice and I'm finally gonna do this full time. So congratulations on taking the lead. We're so proud of the journey that both of you have done professionally and personally. And business that you've been able to make out of the last couple of years. It's a joy and privilege to have you two as part of our brokerage and appreciate your hard work and professionalism. Their sales volume has increased 29.4% this year, and their listings are up 133%. And they don't have the model on here, but when I asked them what their model was, they said that their motto was work hard, play hard. So they just got back from Columbia River going fishing. So what an adventure that was, I'm sure. So thanks for joining us today. Why don't you come up and get this? We'll take a picture with you, Sean. Jessica. Thanks.
No, I don't know what you look for apparently. I stood right in the whole one.
Sorry, we go down the side. You want me in the picture?
Got it, thank you.
Alicia was part of my coaching group when I was the co-team leader with Marcus, and we were also doing coaching together, and that was honestly like one of my funnest moments and one of my first like big wins as a coach, because I knew that was like in your mind, you were like, I want to quit my day job, I want to quit my day job. And she walks into the office and she just has this look on her face and she's like, and it was seriously just such a fun, rewarding, and to watch you just grow has been just one of the highlights. Congratulations. Oh, right. Well, there's not going to be a surprise. Actually, you know what I
Well,
could
you
do?
can
We
just
should
do it
just
without
read
it
it and
without-
then I'll
yeah.
print
Yeah.
the page. Do you want me to read it? Or do you want-
Just don't put it up in the notes, so yeah.
You wanna read it?
No, you're, look, I'm ready for you. I'm just not going to click the clicker yet.
Just don't click.
Just click it yet.
Okay, so this person is a proud native of Utah and has been a licensed professional for over 20 years, bringing a wealth of experience from this person's background in business. Did you
Oh, I
see
like
how
that
I
you
did
even
that?
did that. That was really good.
So you gender neutral already.
Those are the pins and needles right now.
Right.
Nobody
Nobody knows. Yeah. Business management, communication, and sales as a true culture icon of Keller Williams. This person has fully embraced and exemplified Keller Williams culture. This person was honored as the Keller, this will give it away to a lot of people. The Keller Williams Utah Regional Cultural Icon, and recognized at Mega Camp and family reunion for her outstanding contribution. So now we've given away to her, and
So it's a girl. There's two people really
that are both girls. Okay. Okay.
Such a mystery.
Still, okay. Then this is- If you know this person or have ever had a conversation with this person, you know, you always feel leaving like a happier person after being in the same room. She is one of the most driven, hardworking, generous, caring, and hilarious people you will ever have the opportunity to meet. Her journey hasn't been easy, from fighting for her family to battling with breast cancer and kicking its ass. In 2023, she is the true definition of a warrior. She's a lover, not a fighter, but she'll fight for what she loves every single time. She loves spending time with her 4 kids, Taylor, Tom, Hunter, and Lily, and her crazy dog, Trooper.
Does anybody guess who it was?
Now I can't believe.
If you didn't know right then, you would have known for
Yeah.
sure after this next one.
Jamming to the 90s hip hop, always looking for a laugh, no matter the situation. You'll find her walking in nature, spending time with the one she loves most, pricing the hell out of a house. I said that word.
I did. I also heard this one, and just so you know, those were not my swear words. Normally
These
they
are
are.
not my swear words either, so it doesn't count.
It doesn't.
It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Because I'm not
I
gonna
will
never.
never.
I would never. And that's all before 6 a.m. Can we say it now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Me too, yeah.
Christy Nelson. Christy generously shares her knowledge with her fellow agents, serves with the NWAR board of directors, mentors, aspiring realtors, and actively supports our PAC with both time and financial contributions. Currently, she's organizing a walkathon to support Fabian's wife, Amber, who is also is going through a battle with breast cancer. We are incredibly fortunate and grateful. So love you guys.
That's always breaking no sweat.
I know, right?
We can do a picture. I was like, your brokers are gonna come up.
You're right.
Hurry, brokers, run.
I'm getting the hang of this. It's taking me a minute, but I'm getting it.
Christy, do you want to tell us a little bit about your event coming up in October?
Yes, yes, so,
On this thing, it's a little bit. Is Bobby on Zoom?
Yes.
yes, so, I don't wanna share his information, but his wife is, battling breast cancer, and her prognosis is a lot worse than what I had to go through, so I just want to do something for our family and to give back. And so, I'm coordinating a walkathon in October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. My goal is to raise $10,000 for his family. And he'll provide us more information about her information, but, it's gonna be $35 to participate in the walkathon. I'm gonna encourage people to walk either 100 miles for the month or 10,000 steps a day, whichever you wanna do. You can get pledges from your followers and your family and friends, as you're doing your miles and your walks, but, we're gonna do a kickoff event on October 1st, and we're getting shirts made. Right now, I'm looking for sponsors and raffle baskets for our kickoff event. So if you guys would like to help participate, donate a raffle basket, have vendors that want to donate for sponsorships to help, like with the t-shirts and any other money we'll put right to their fund, but that's what we're doing. I want to get that.
Isn't that awesome, you guys? Saturday morning, I hadn't done anything business yet. I thought, okay, I gotta just look at my email and see what I missed. And that was the first email that I read because I thought I kind of was scrolling to see it from Christy. I read it. And it just changed like my entire outlook on the day. Because you guys, we get to surround ourselves with people like this. Like that is the culture of this company. And that is freaking incredible. So thank you, Christy, for putting that together. Now, another exciting announcement that I already flipped this slide to too fast. So come on up, Marcus. You can help us fix this. Oh, that's going backwards. Here we go.
Tip coming up. A lot of you guys know, we've, over the last several months, since Eden went on a personal leave of absence, we still don't have a lot of information to share, in regards to her situation, but we just want to thank you guys for your patience with us as a leadership team as we've been navigating this and making sure that we're still showing up at a high level, particularly at such an interesting time in our industry. But we are really excited about making a shift in our leadership team and adding Tim to our leadership team in the team leader role. I'm gonna have Tim talk in a couple minutes so you guys hear directly from him about his energy and his experience. But I want to share with you my experience with Tim and why I'm excited about this. Is Tim is not new to the team leader role, which if you guys have seen any of us that have ever been in the team leader role, you know how hard this role is. I've had a lot of different roles inside of my career, and the team leader role was by far the most challenging role I've ever had, but also the most rewarding role I've ever had inside this company. So I have just a deep respect for anyone that steps into that role, and someone particularly that's been in it for a while, because the turnover rate is massive in the team leader role. Because it has to be someone with thick skin and somebody that just loves pouring into people at a high level. So even though Tim is new in the team leader role in our office, and I'm very excited about that, he comes to us with a lot of experience already in the team leader role. He was the team leader in the KW Westfield office in Orem, which is the largest KW office in the state of Utah and in the Utah region, and did a phenomenal job there. And then over the last couple of years, he's been leading multiple offices in the team leader role in Southern California, doing a really phenomenal job. But luckily for us, his heart was still here in Utah. He wanted to be closer to family, and it just worked out that the stars were aligned that we had this opportunity to get business with each other now. And just when the three of us got together, started talking about what we loved about this office and who we were, the culture, it became evident very quickly that Tim's heart and mind aligned with who we are and where we're going as an organization. And it just felt like the right move to get in business with Tim and bring that energy to the table to take us to the next level. So Tim, take a couple minutes and tell us a little bit about your background and why you're excited about the role and why you're excited to join us in this office.
Well, first and foremost, I would say that culture isn't something that you see, it's something that you feel, and the feeling that is in this room, especially with the sacrifice that you guys are doing, are incredible. One of the coolest things that Chris sends every day is the report, every day an updated report. And what has been fascinating for me to see is someone who's consulted and met with over 124 KW offices across the country. You guys are way ahead in production. Like, you were leading the goals that were set at the beginning of the year, and it's been cool to see the production, the revenue, and the money that's coming into you agents, which is first and foremost the biggest role as a team leader, is to help increase your production. One of my favorite things, and like hearing the story of quitting your job and doing that, that's just so amazing. It's incredible to see people making sacrifices to improve their life, which enriches the lives of other people. And my experience has drawn me closer to wanting to enhance that culture. And you guys already have an incredible culture, and I only want to add to that. One of the unique situations that was in Southern California was there was a lot of chaos in leadership, and your leadership here with Marcus, with Rusty, obviously meeting the chocolate master today, and the leaders that you have in this office is very unique. There is a lot of offices across the country that do not have the engagement, the compassion, the care, and just the dedication to the success of what you do. A little bit about my background. I don't come from the real estate market. I did have a real estate license here in Utah, just so I understood the process and better teaching it, but I've never sold a home. I bought many homes, but I've never practiced real estate. My background comes, I did serve an LDS mission in Tokyo, Japan, so I am fluent in Japanese. I still keep that language up. It was fun to rap in LA over the last 20 years. A lot of Japanese that are there in Southern California. When I came off my mission, I wasn't feeling school, so we started a door-to-door business. You guys know who Todd Peterson is, obviously. He was my biggest competition when we first started. He started Apex, we started Monotronics, and was able to grow 2 cities to 40 states. And so my background in cold calling, door knocking, scripting, like, that's one of my favorite things. Anybody who wants to role play, script practice, do any of that, practice door knocking, I'm your guy. Like, I love that stuff. I love the idea of meeting new people and overcoming those fears. And what happened shortly after was the market crash. And so I was the next Mark Cuban. It's the worst thing ever to give a 24-year-old the kind of money that we were making knocking doors. And so I learned by failing immensely in real estate and in buying mostly depreciating liabilities, which I don't advise. So my path took me on a different run. I met Johnny. I've known Johnny for a long time. We grew up together, his nephew, and my nephew and him are like close of friends. And so he approached me in 2020, right before COVID hit. And I had just sold a business. I was quasi-retired, and he asked me to come to Utah. So I was living in Arizona at the time, to come to Utah and run this quote unquote team leader role, which I knew nothing about. So I wasn't interested in it, but he bought me tickets to family reunion. How many of you love him? It's a cult. Can we just call it what it is? I mean, people from all over the world coming to one place. It was in Dallas. Was it Dallas? Yeah, it was Dallas in 2020.
Yes.
And COVID was being spread everywhere. It was fantastic.
Came home very, very sick.
It was so great. But the one thing that stood out to me was just how dedicated the agents were, and how there was really, like, the best definition is that it's a family reunion. It was like this united family, all in one purpose, celebrating real estate Jesus, as I like to call Gary Keller. He is essentially the real estate Jesus of our time. A little more angry at times, but whatever. That's another day. But I ate that up. It was cultural, and I'm a big believer in that things happen for a reason. Shortly after my brother was diagnosed with terminal cancer, and moving back to Utah made sense. I'm the youngest of 8 kids. I was an accident. It is what it is. A marvelous accident, but I was an accident nonetheless. And moving back to Utah really enhanced it. And I fell in love with the team leader role. I fell in love mostly because I was somewhat hated when I first came in, because who's this kid that's never had real estate experience? But the one thing that you'll know from me, I don't mind getting on the phones. I don't mind stepping out of my comfort zone. I don't really have boundaries, so come to me with all your problems and your joys and your happiness. I love to do it. And it's something that I fell in love with. One, because you're surrounded by incredible people who are struggling just as much as you are, who are successful as much as you are, and are dedicated as much as you are. And so I think that's my favorite thing about the real estate market is it's the most sound investment that you can make. It's the one thing that's kept me able to travel for the years that I've done this. It's provided me more income and more ability to be with my kids more. And so I value how much you guys dedicate to this. And I just want to help enhance that and be a part of something like that.
Love it.
Well, welcome here. We're super excited to be in business with you. Tim's gonna be reaching out to you guys to connect one-on-one. That was really important for him to get a feel for the energy of the office and also get feedback from you. One of the big things, we spent all day together yesterday brainstorming between the three of us of like, what has served us well from a leadership standpoint, serving our people at a high level? How do we do that better? And what are the things that we need to adopt? What are the new things we need to learn? And while we came up with some really exciting ideas that we feel good about, the most important thing is to ask, you guys should take this in your own business too. If you want to serve your customers better, who should you be asking what to do to your customers? So one of the things we want to do as we're talking to you guys is learn from you. What is it that you need as we move into this new industry, a new market, and we're going to do everything we can on our side. And I'm just really excited about, you guys have seen how closely Rusty and I and the rest of the leadership team work together and working for you. I feel like we brought on the third amigo here to really lean in and create some magic for our office. I'm super excited about it. So do not ignore his call.
Yeah, you will, and I'm an open door guy. My phone number will be plastered everywhere. Anything you need at any time, I will get back to you as soon as I can. And believe it or not, this picture's only 4 months apart. My kids have been asking me to grow the beard out, and it started when we went to Costa Rica 3 weeks ago. So I spent the last couple weeks in Costa Rica before school started. And yeah, I'm growing out to be Santa because I am a jolly elf. Yeah, sorry you don't get another tall soul.
Because we don't need Santa for it. We got her all.
I got the right guy. Thank you.
Thanks, Tim. One of the things that I gotta tell you yesterday in our meetings with Tim that was so fun is we're talking through from now till the end of the year, right? Because just like I challenged you guys to do a month or two ago was your mid-year reset. And I told you we do the same thing in our office, right? So that's what we've done. And I'm talking to Tim about our mid-year reset and the goals that we were doing. And he was like, I'm gonna seriously, like, if I don't hit this number, I'm gonna feel really bad. Like, I'm gonna feel bad about myself. He's like, let's make that bigger. So I love that he just comes in with this big vision and is just excited to get at it and is so excited to like meet with you guys and hear what you need. And I'm just gonna tell you, take the opportunity from like to learn from a brilliant business mind too, because this is a business. I think sometimes we forget that. So don't get so caught up in the like forms and the whatever. Remember, it's a business. How can you run it more effectively? So Tim, I'm super excited. Marcus has a little thing before we do this, but I think I forgot to add a slide. So I'm really sorry. And you can choose between Tim's face, Mega Agent Cap recap, or a broker home. Which do you prefer?
Tim's face.
Perfect.
Tim, what do you think? How many minutes do I have? We're 10.
Is that okay?
Yeah, all right.
Sorry.
Less.
10 now.
I always throw a loop for the team because if I'm gonna be here, I always kind of demand a little bit of time. But I want to share with you guys a couple things that are on my mind. Rusty asked a question to you guys earlier. Yeah, wanted an honest answer of why you were not participating in 75 Hard. And here's my question with 75 Hard. Would you be more likely to participate if it was called 75 Easy or 75 Fun? Or 75 sweet. Like from a marketing standpoint, it sounds better to say those things, right? But why would we, how many of you are experiencing something hard in your life right now? If you didn't raise your hand, I don't believe you. I would think everyone right now is experiencing something hard, whether it's in your business, in your personal life, or with one arm's length away, someone in your world is experiencing something hard. So why would we invite more hard into our life? Why would we say there's a program called 75 Hard? I don't have enough hard in my life. Why don't I take this on? right? So this actually really lined up with what I wanted to share with you today. That it was interesting that in Mega Camp, a friend of mine brought up a memory when we were at Mega Leadership Camp at Kalahari in Texas. And we were at this event, all the leaders, and all of a sudden these alarms started going off that a tornado was coming in. And they stopped everything and they made us all go into the tornado bunker, which is kind of a cool experience. You're like, this is awesome. We're going to a tornado bunker. It was really interesting, even though we were in the tornado bunker, you could tell like who were the really paranoid ones because they were like pushing their way to the back of the tornado bunker, like it's safer back there. It was all the same, but it was interesting. Got me thinking about a tornado though. I feel like right now we are in a tornado. We are experiencing chaos in our industry. We have a big industry shift and a market shift going on at the same time. And for the first time, even though I've been doing this for a long time, this is the first time I've seen the consumer have a big hand in stirring up that tornado. Where before it was internally we were creating the tornado and the shift and we would go tell the consumer what was going on. Now it's a consumer driven tornado in some respect. And what I'm finding with agents is there's kind of three scenarios in which I see agents showing up inside the tornado. One is I see a handful of agents that are trying to get as far back into the bunker as they possibly can. Because if you're all the way back in the very dark corner of the bunker, guess what? You don't know what's going on. You could sit there and not even know a tornado was happening. You wouldn't even know that there was changes going on because you're ignoring it. Now, in a real tornado, that's probably the safest place to go. But however, the other two scenarios are this. One is the other thing I see is agents out in the tornado and they are becoming part of the tornado. They're circulating and being blown wherever happens. Whatever conversation they walk into, they get on board with that conversation until they walk to the next one. And in essence, if you're not anchored down, you become part of the tornado. The third scenario, which I see a handful of people doing, but not enough of us, is figuring out how do I stay in the tornado to be part of the solution? But what am I anchored to? Am I anchored something where I'm secure and firm and becoming part of the solution? Or by me standing in the tornado, am I just being blown around and washed around? And so ultimately, the word that's been on my mind that kind of plays into hard is this. Grit. To me, this is an interesting word, grit. From your guys' perspective, what does grit mean? John Wayne, Rooster Cogburn. Not enough people know who John Wayne is anymore. Like that generation, you know. John Wayne had a lot of grit. In fact, he had a movie named Grit, right?
True Grit.
True Grit. What else? How else would you define grit? Whatever it takes. I like that. Perseverance. I love that. So I read two definitions that I like. I want to share both of them with you. One said courage and resolve of strength and character. And the other one that I really liked was written in the form of a formula, and it was passion plus perseverance equals grit. Well, here's what's interesting to me right now. If you think about passion plus perseverance equals grit, unfortunately, grit is not something that you can just create out of thin air. Are we all in agreement that we need grit to win right now? The problem is, if you don't have a bank account full of grit, you have nothing to draw on. And if you can't draw on grit that was previously built, it's a bigger challenge for you to anchor yourself in the tornado now. So here's the good news. If you've done hard things, if you've invited some hard into your life previously, all you are doing when you do this is you're making deposits into a grit bank account for you to call on when it's needed. Now, I don't want to discourage you that if your bank account is not full of grit, it doesn't put you out of the race. But what it means is you need to start inviting grit into your life and heart into your life and start making small deposits. The good news is if I went to a bank today and made a deposit, how quickly are those funds available for me to withdraw? Tomorrow, normally, right? So the good news is it might not be a lot, but there's something to draw on if you invite a little bit of heart into your world today. So one of the things that I really want to encourage us is to start thinking through, like, how would I make a deposit into my grit bank account today? And ultimately, this isn't some big crazy thing. A lot of you know that my part of my personal mission vision statement says the most difficult tasks yield the most valuable lessons. And that's why you always see me doing some crazy event out there. It's not because I love doing, like, my next one is a 50 miler. It's not because I love running. In fact, I hate running. But every time I start feeling like my bank account's a little bit empty, I'm like, I need to push my brain past my limits. I need to push my body past my limits because it's a big deposit into a grit bank account. I'm not in any way saying that that's what you need to do. The way to build or make a deposit into your grit bank account is make a commitment and keep it. That's it. The commitment could be, I'm going to have 3 real estate related conversations today and keep it. Those conversations may yield nothing from a new transaction. They may yield nothing from a listing, but what they did do is they may let you make a deposit into your grit bank account. That tomorrow, when things are tough, you get to now make a withdrawal on that grit because you earned it. You earned the right to it. The people that win, the agents that are going to win, we've talked about elevating our professionalism. I do believe that. But who's going to win is not the person with the most talent. That's a plus. To me, that's not the person that's going to win through this. It's the person that has the most this. It's the person that's willing to wake up and say, yeah, I guess it was tough. Yes, today I don't feel like it. But good thing I have a bank account full of grit to do what it needs to take. The trick with one of the things I found is anytime I need to lean into grit and do things that I don't want to do, it's always easier to do it with somebody else that also is gritty. Right? There's people, everyone here has someone in your phone that if you got in trouble, if you had to do something hard, they would be the first person you called. Like, for example, if I had to go fight a bunch of zombies, I would call Corey. Right? Somebody in your world, you know, has grit that you would call.
See what that happens.
So we're busy fighting zombies. The point I'm making with this is the power of community. This is the power of coming together to say like, hey, you know what, maybe I don't alone have the power to do this or the resolve to do what I need to do today. But if I come to a group and be a part of something where everyone else is gritty, maybe I can borrow a little bit of grit from them too. Because here's what I'm committed to with our leadership team, and this is what really excites me when we sit down and start brainstorming about where we're going. It's too easy. It's too easy of a play to complain about what's going on. But it's fun when you sit down with other people and are like, well, how are we going to win? How are we going to provide a better solution than anybody else? And there's grit on the table in addition to the masterminding and the conversations. That's exciting. That's fun. So here's what I'd like to make a commitment to you, and then I'd like to make an invitation. My commitment is this, is myself and our leadership team, we promise to be more gritty than we've ever been. Business is hard, being an agent is hard, being a dad is hard right now, being a friend is hard right now, being a leader is hard right now. But we can't shy away from hard. We got to lean into it. I'm really committed that our leadership team is ready to lean into hard and get gritty. And we're willing to share our deposits into the gritty bank account with you until your bank account's full enough to draw on your own. The ask back is this, is if we're going to go to work to add grit to our bank account while you fill yours, there's going to come a time where we need to lean on your bank account back. So that's part of being a family. That's part of us working together in the way we're going to win together. So number one, my commitment is we're going to get to work. We're going to build some grit. We're going to be ready to support you. We're thinking outside the box. We're thinking inside the box. And if there was another terminology around the box, we'd be thinking there too. But we're going to think and create solutions any way we can for you guys right now. We need your support doing so. And not only support and saying, yeah, I'm listening, but bring your ideas to the table. Because collectively, we're a lot smarter than just a handful of us alone. And then the other side of that, make a commitment today. What is one small commitment you can make today to make a deposit? Think about it as a deposit into your bank account because you will need it tomorrow. That I do know for sure, is even though August 17th has passed, like the storm behind this change is what's coming. I was talking to a friend of mine in Chicago. He's already, it's literally a couple days past August 17th. He's already in his first lawsuit, commission dispute lawsuit, in the wake of August 17th, 2 days later. So the storm behind this is messy, but the good news is we're tethered to great values. We're tethered to great leadership. We're tethered to a lot of grit. So even though the storm is going around us, I feel secure in where we're at because of who we've built around us. So that's my invite, my commitment and my invite. Lean in. Back to you, Rusty.
I love that. Thank you.
I'm glad that you brought that up today, and I was seriously thinking as you were talking that there Addison did a little 5K race with me and she was seriously so irritated that I was making her run with me. And I have a friend that was there with us and she starts like bombing Addison a little bit. But the thing that she said was that the reason we choose to do hard things, she's like, it feels really hard, huh? And it feels hard. You feel like you can't keep running to the tree. Cause I'd be like, Addison, we're going to go to the tree, make it to the tree. And we're going to walk for 30 seconds. I'm pushing her, you know? And she's like, the reason we choose to do hard things is because by accomplishing the things that we get to choose that are hard, when other things get thrown at us that we didn't choose, right? Like there's a lot of hard in our lives that we don't get to choose. Nobody got to choose what's happening right now. None of us in this room got to choose changes with NAR. Nobody gets to choose what their health crisis that they're going to go through or whatever is happening in your world that's hard. But if you create a habit of doing hard things and creating them and accomplishing them, it makes the hard things that you don't choose so much easier to accomplish. So I love that you brought that up today, because that's something that just like, it resonates in my mind all the time. And that's why, like, same thing with your 50 miler. That's why I'm like grabbing Dalton and being like, you can do a half marathon. You're going to do it with me. And we'll be accountable to each other on our weekends, on our long runs. And but it's having somebody in there with you choosing hard too, that makes such a big difference. So I love that. Thank you. Very timely message. We're going to cruise so fast because Sean has some updates too that I think we need to go through that are really important. I'm going to cruise through some mega camp updates, and then we can dive deeper into some of these as well. And we're going to have our sponsor come up between that and Sean so that Sean can go over if we need to, because I think that our broker moment today is really important and we need to make sure that we're staying on top of the changes, because just like Marcus said, keep in mind our settlements, you guys, protect us until August 17th. So August 18th was a fresh day and a fresh little smell of blood in the water for the sharks that are the attorneys that are trying to sue us for just being amazing humans. I don't know why. But Mega Camp recap, a couple things, and I'm going to share out some one-sheeters with you guys on this one. They talk a lot about fire, and Allison, do you want to come up? Because I think you had some stuff to chime in here too. So the Mega Camp recap for the buyer consultation, a couple things that I loved from this is, and beyond buyer, beyond seller, whatever we're doing, it was how many calls to contact to appointment. You have to know your conversions. You have to know them. So how many people do you have to talk to be able to get an appointment? How many appointments do you need to go on to be able to convert that to a contract? And if right now what you're doing, this is not buyer's agent specific, but if right now the amount of conversations that you are having are not resulting in the amount of contracts that you want to have closed, then you have a conversion problem. And you need to be able to work through that. And where do we do that? With each other, in trainings, in groups, in masterminds. So actually really knowing your numbers was one of the things. But on the buyer consultation, I loved, we call it a strategy session. Everybody that they talked to said really walk them through the whole process. They should know what to expect, because you're starting to establish your value from your very first conversation. So if your value is, I'm going to run an open house for you right now, and that's where your value ends, you're probably going to get paid less than someone who's a professional that sits down with them. And from that very first meeting with them, you're starting to establish your value. So walk them through the entire process and where you're at in the process, I thought was really like an important piece. But again, I think we get eager to just like jump, like they're saying, oh, I want to see a house. And we're like, when, where? I'll meet you there, right? Like we're so eager. We're so eager to just instantly go to what do you need and I'll get it for you right this second. Where really we need to slow down and really walk through what they should expect in this whole process and talking them through just like we do with the listing. One thing that I loved that they said from the stage, and it might have been Sarah Reynolds, I don't remember when she said it, but she said that when you are sitting down, that she's confused why there's so much anxiety around speaking about your value and what you charge. And her question was, it makes me curious what those buyers agents listing presentation looks like. Because if you're already really good at your listing presentation and being able to explain why you charge what you charge and what the value you bring for that is, it should be no different on the buy side. I think, like, I don't think anybody would disagree with me that we work actually way harder on the buy side than we do on the list side. And so I think that was a really important reminder of like, guys, know your value and be able to speak to it. But remember, from the very first conversation with them, you're showing them a pattern of your value and how you're gonna show up for them. And I thought that was really critical piece. Walk them through the entire process. Right from the beginning, you're establishing the value.
Well, and I think that, what, a couple things they said that were impactful to me was about changing our language, like calling it a buyer strategy session, calling it compensation instead of commission. Just some different tweaks in our language to help buyers understand. And then think of you as a buyer or seller, and then think of your value. Is your value valuable? Like, is it? And revamping your value proposition based on what they're gonna find it valuable.
Yeah, I love that. And then I also loved that one of the people, and I don't remember which one it was, but they said, they asked them, what is the dream scenario? Like, if you're sitting down with your buyers and you're having a strategy session and you're talking to Cody and Alicia and they're gonna be buying a house, like, what is your dream scenario for you to have this be like, this was a dream? And you walk out of it at the end, like every single thing lined up exactly how I wanted it to, and I ended with my dream home at the end. What does that look like? Because now you know what their expectations are, and that's a really good time to align
Do you
your
guys think that's
expectations
important?
with your value.
Do you guys think that's important to know what their expectations are?
Right? And can you meet their expectation? Right? If I sit down with them and they tell me that they have a budget of 250,000 and they want a 4-car garage, can I meet their expectation? Can I get their dream scenario? When they walk out of the conversation with me at the very end, are they going to be excited about what we're doing? No. So if you know what they expect and you know what you can provide, you can make sure those things are in alignment. And it's a great time in that strategy session from the very first conversation with them to make sure you're in alignment with what the expectation is and how you can deliver it. So I think that was a really important piece of like just actually asking that part of it. Anything else on the buyer strategy session? I know we're going super fast. And I will share out all the
The one pagers though, they look like this. You guys have probably seen them. They are on Connect for everyone. You don't have to have attended.
Sweet.
What was that? The one pagers.
The one pagers
for
mega
every
account.
panelist. The pricing strategy, I loved, the conversation around pricing strategy. Remember that you're bringing it, it's the market. Know what the market is and know what it isn't. And guess what? The market doesn't actually care what the seller wants. The market is the market is the market is the market. So the market is going to drive the pricing. The market's going to drive how quickly it can happen. Are there pieces that we can navigate within the market? Absolutely. But if you just go with it's what they want, the market doesn't actually care what you're selling. The market is driving itself. The demand is driving it. The supply is driving it. So if you bring it back to the market when you're having those pricing conversations, I think that was such a critical where I was just like, it's something we all know, but it just reminds us.
When you can look, I like to look at the list reports or the MLS and say, hey, we've had 10,000 people look at your house online. The marketing is working. We're off on price. Like we're getting the online views, we're getting the people through, we're not getting an offer. So,
yeah, and then again, that comes back to the market, right? So knowing this is what we're getting, this is how many eyes that we're having on it. When we're having all the eyes, but we're not getting any showings, that tells us that we're off on something. So what is it almost every single time?
And having that pricing strategy up front is important too.
Yep. I love, so she talked about the price, you're planting the seed at the very beginning of what a price reduction might look like. If anyone does pre-listing packets, they did talk about a pre-appointment packet that they send out. And they ask in that very initial meeting, Melissa, what is the price that you're hoping to get for your home? And I know a lot of people don't do that. They do that in that initial call before. So now they know going into it, if they need to manage the expectations, if it's going to be a really great call because yay, I'm going to get you way more than what you think for your house. Or if you're coming in way here and we're here. So you kind of know.
And I'm gonna bring comps. If they say their house is worth
Yep.
8 and I say it's worth 6, or the market showing it's worth 6, I'm gonna bring the $800,000 comps and show them why it's not worth 8.
Yep. And the other thing in the pre-appointment packet that they're actually adding in some comps in that packet. They're not putting in the like comparison report or anything like that, but they're actually just printing out some comps so that they have time to marinate on this is my active competition. So they include more actives and then a few under contract and a few sold, but more on the active side, because then before we even start talking about it, they're sitting there in their living room with their spouse saying, oh man, this one's active and it's actually nicer than ours, or it's way bigger than ours, or whatever it is, right? And so if you plant the seed of the price reduction in that conversation, then when you have to have the price reduction conversation, it's the good news is, this is how they always started out, right? Because if I'm talking, again, we're talking Melissa, and we started at one price and we knew that we might have to do a 3 to 5% reduction. Hey, if we're not getting this activity by this time, we know we're gonna have to reduce the price by 3 to 5%, or whatever that percentage is. Then we go into that with, hey, Melissa, the good news is your home's being seen. And the good news is we were planning on up to as much as this percent of reduction, but now it's only gonna be this percent. Because I think we're getting all the eyes on us and the comps are showing us that we think we can do this. So I loved that too. Anything else on that one? Based on what the market is telling me, we need to be priced at X. And always end on a high note of thank you again for trusting me to get your home sold and to bring you the information of the market. I know it's not always the best information, but thank you for trusting me to bring it to you.
Make them feel good about listing with you, like, yeah, like you appreciate them hiring you.
Yep. Find the mofer for the exact issue. I think you were gonna talk more about mofers. The only one that I loved that was a good, I mean, I loved a lot of them, but a good example of this one, and this is in Jose Medina's one sheeter, is that he is finding the mofer to solve the problem, and not just to solve like you got scratched problem, like what is the gashing, bleeding, need stitches
They
problem?
call it the bleeding neck, yeah.
Yeah, what's the bleeding neck problem that needs to be solved? Find the mofer to solve that problem. Be a specialist, not a generalist. Right? Like if you have an issue and you have to have surgery on your knee, you're probably not going to go to your family practice doctor to have them do surgery on your knee. You're going to go to a knee specialist.
Oh, you don't do that yourself?
You could.
Oh, okay.
You could.
Perfect.
If you're a first cell by owner, it's going to get bloody.
It's gonna get bloody.
But
Surgery
creating-
myself.
Fine.
But creating a mofer that connects directly to something specific, not just being general to everything, but has specific mofer, make offer for immediate response. Is that what you're gonna ask?
Yeah.
Sorry, I forget. Make offer for immediate response. So this is, you have an offer that you're giving them that's gonna invoke an immediate response for that exact problem. That's who you're directing that to.
Yeah, so Tim Heil was my favorite on the mofers, and he basically said, pick your niche group of people. And then Phil Jones said something similar. He said, pick 3 groups of people, like 3 niches you want to work with, and then find 3 problems that each of those is having, and then solve those 3 problems and create your value proposition out of that. Because then your value proposition will be valuable to your people.
The trick with that is, like, we, on my team, we call it our toolbox, so a lot of times we go into the conversation, you don't know what the issue is, but if you ask the right questions, you're gonna be like, oh, out of the toolbox, I need this mofer. It's just like, you have to have them ready to go, the scripts around them, because you're discovering, and then instantly you draw on them.
And one of the things around the mofer that I loved is like not trying to be everything for everyone. Back to that generalist is like, if there's something that you're really passionate about and that is what you want to do, and that's, I think, the Tim Heil thing. If you guys are not listening to the
super
MREA
specific.
podcast, you guys listen to
This
it.
is good, yeah.
His was so good, but he talks about that. He's like, you're gonna actually make way more money by referring out the things that you're not an expert at and focusing on the things that you are, because you're gonna be able to gain market share in that particular little niche that you have versus having a very small percent of all the market share. So I loved that too. Open houses, I'm gonna actually skip because I think that's a deeper conversation. And there's like several one sheets that we'll share, and I'll put little notes along with those just for time's sake. CEO Summit, I didn't attend. You did.
So, yeah, I did go to CEO Summit, so that's an add-on you can get when you go to Mega Camp. I would never not go to that. It's so worth it if you're gonna be there anyways. Go to that. Gary, it's funny your thing was on grit and hard because he spoke a lot on toughness and building mental toughness. And creating a toughness training model for yourself. So, the ways you build toughness is to stress test yourself. So you're gonna stress. So one example that's pretty easy for us to get is in the physical world. So how are you gonna build your mental toughness or your physical toughness? You're gonna do it with like cardio and weight exercises, but then you can't just do that 100% of the time. That's not gonna build toughness. You've got to have stress and recovery. So that counterbalance, weird how this is always what we're preaching. And you get that recovery with physical through sleeping, getting the right amount of sleep and getting good sleep, eating for nutrition, stretching, and having planned time off. And then going back and he talked a lot about I have all the 7 different ways that I wrote down of building toughness. And he said, reminder, building that mental toughness or physical toughness or toughness in relationships or financial toughness is not about achieving the goal. It's about building toughness to help you reach your goals. So I thought that was super good. And he said, everybody, my slides, he said, why does it matter? Why be tough? Is looked at, and it says, this shit happens. That's the answer. That's funny, it's its own slide up there.
Yeah. I think that is like we didn't even plan that, but that is the message of the day, is like hard things are gonna happen. This is life. That's just what it is.
Tough times are guaranteed.
Tough times are guaranteed, so it's how are you gonna remain mentally tough and have the grit to get through it?
Yeah, and honestly, the market's getting harder. We've been saying that, so it says when 7.1 million homes are sold and you're hitting your numbers, you're getting a huge assist from luck. But when it's 4.1 million home sales and you hit your numbers, it's not luck, it's optimism. It's doing your job.
I love that. That's one of the things I love, being able to see your numbers increasing too. Like the fact you guys are up 29%. That says a lot about what you're doing in your business, right? And that's toughness, because there's a lot of people that are 29% down from last year.
Or 100, we see people that are 100% down.
Yep. So anyway, love that. Phil Jones, I'm wondering if we should recap Phil Jones in the awards meeting next week, because he has so much good stuff.
And we're gonna use his card.
We're gonna use cards. So we're gonna do Phil Jones recap next week in the awards ceremony. Okay.
To be continued.
Come back next week if you wanna see.
Okay, so we have One Home Solutions, Shelley Dunn. This is not Shelley. No, who is it?
Like another Minnesota name.
Hey.
Yeah.
This is, okay. So we're just gonna pretend that you guys can see my screen because I can't screen share. Sorry for the letdown, everybody. Okay. We shall just pretend that you can see this screen.
We're really good visualizers.
Yeah, and I'll paint a really beautiful story. You guys are just gonna laugh and cry. Step at me. So I am Shelley with One Home Solution. We are a whole home maintenance and repair company. Part of what I want to do to here today is give you an alternative to what most people think of as a closing gift or something for their own home, which is the home warranty. We are not that. There's nothing wrong with home warranties, but there are alternatives out there that don't necessarily have to be put on as soon as the home is sold. We don't have to do that because we're there to help with the home repair and maintenance. I'm sure some of you get calls, especially with if it's a older home or maybe a brand new, somebody's gonna call and go, hey, I want to have some ceiling fans installed, or I want those taken out. I want to put in a really nice light. Who should I call? Those types of things. You're gonna hear that from your friends, family. You may even ask people. You go to Facebook to Google all that stuff. But then you find somebody and they don't always answer when you call. And they don't necessarily show up on time or on your schedule when it's convenient for you. They give you this long, hey, I'm gonna be there between 1 and 4. And it gets a little bit frustrating and a little bit confusing. And that's where we come in. So technology has been a huge disruptor for years amongst any industries. If you look at Uber, DoorDash, those types of things, technology completely disrupted those industries and shook things up. And that's what we are doing for the home repair and maintenance. We are combining technology along with really great employees to give each homeowner a really good experience. And a homeowner or you will never hear no from us. We can't take care of that because we have the ability to take care of everything. I know you can't see this that well, but this is just an example of how easy it is to ask for help and schedule that help through the app. And that's how everything is handled. You open your app, no matter what you need, you hit a few buttons. Most of the time you can say, hey, this is what works for my schedule based on what we have available. Submit that, boom, you're done. You get a confirmation. And then you're even going to get a text message from the tech when they're on their way. It's going to show their photo. So you know exactly who's going to be showing up to your home. It's really great and convenient. Here's a listing, and it's also in the brochures that I brought of really anything that we can do. And it's from if you need some light bulbs changed and it's too far up and you don't want to get on a ladder or you don't own a ladder, or you need a big vanity installed. anything there, anything you do high level handyman, we handle that in-house. So I heard you guys talking about value. So here's the value of the in-house people that we employ. So they're salaried. They know where their next check is coming from and exactly how much it's gonna be, so they're not out there trying to squeeze a little bit of extra money out of you. They have medical benefits, they have paid holidays, all of those great things that most of us 9-to-5ers have. I'm a 9-to-5er, sorry. Except for the Saturdays and Sundays that I work. So anyway, they are completely vetted. We have done background checks. If they can't pass the background check, they're done. We've had to turn people away who had something come up from 15 years ago and they were super qualified, but we said, no, you are too much of a risk, unfortunately. So you don't have to worry that when you're calling that person that you found online or whatever that, geez, I wonder if they're licensed. I wonder if they're insured. I wonder if they just got out of the pokey, which is, I think, what people say. So anyway, and best of all, it's $70 per hour. And we do prorate. So if we're there for 30 minutes, you only pay $35. And we don't charge mileage. We don't charge a service call fee. It's just that $70 per hour. And that is for our in-house people. Now, there might be times where it's going to take somebody that has more of a skill set, specific licensing, specialized equipment, that sort of thing. You still request that through us. We have agreements with outside vendors. And we make sure that they actually deserve to get the business through us for you. So we have to make sure they have a good standing license, they're insured and for the proper amount. They don't have any really negative Google reviews. So the value there is still, we are the ones taking care of it for you. We're going to take care of the scheduling, getting them out there for an estimate, making sure they finish everything on time, and standing behind it with our 100% quality guarantee as well. So that I keep looking up here and it's actually down here. So we also give every homeowner 4 seasonal maintenance visits. Those are included. And those visits can include swapping out the HVAC filter, which we provide. Topping off the water softener with salts, which we provide. Swapping out the batteries and the smoke detector once a year, which we provide. And there's a few other things that most people don't think of, draining the water heater, cleaning the return vents, that sort of thing. And again, that's just included. So this is something that a lot of my real estate partners have been using as a closing gift. So again, it's this other alternative of maybe a $700 or $800 warranty that might say no. If there's something that needs to be taken care of and it's like, nope, sorry, this isn't covered, or it's going to cost $150 for your copay and the service charge and all of that. So we have 2 different plans. The $500 doesn't apply today. So it's either $500 annually, or people can pay $49 a month, the end of it $600 for the year. Today, I'm going to give you guys a discount code for your own personal homes or anybody else you want to use that on. That is for today only. After that, it's $500, just like it is for everybody else. That code is Shelly, SHELLY 250. And I'll give you the information here in just a sec. Now, what I want to do is actually, sorry, I have a real estate only order portal. So anytime you guys want to gift this, you will always get it for the $250 for that first year. And I send an email to your client saying, hey, your realtor just gifted you this $500 value. So you're only paying $250 for this gift. They're actually going to get tangible benefits from it. And it's a great way for them to remember you throughout the year. And if they ever call and say, hey, who should I? You can go, hey, just open up your One Home app. Now you can remove yourself from that and let us take care of them. And those are the codes for scanning and downloading the app, Shelly 250, or you can go to our website, just choose the annual, use the code, and you'll only pay $250 for the first year. Ta-da!
What cities are you?
Oh, thank you. We are North Ogden to Payson, to Willa County and the Wasatch back.
Local.
Yep, we are a local company. We're headquartered in Park City. We do have a couple of offices, one in Phoenix. We just opened in Orange County, but we're not some national chain or anything like that, local ownership. Yes.
So technically, if you charge a transaction fee in your transaction, you could add $250 to it and then automatically give them this at the end. Just a thought. Make that paperwork. I don't need to know that. You're pretty smart.
Something that I have had some real estate agents do is they negotiate a $500 seller concession, which gets the homeowner that first year at $250 and then another $250 going to prepaid labor. Which can be really nice, especially if the seller's like, I don't want to fix all this stuff, just put it on the market. So anyway, there you go.
Awesome.
Thanks so much.
You said you've got your pictures up there, so
I
they know
do.
your
And some business cards as well.
Awesome, and we share your info again in our weekly recap too.
Okay, and I'll send that realtor only webpage. Okay. Good luck.
Send it to me.
Okay,
Awesome, thank you.
I'm like, where is she?
Okay, here's what I'm gonna say is we had way too much content. Sorry.
We have way too much.
But here's the two things. So there's some important stuff we need to talk about. If you can stay, great. If you have to leave and you want to hop in Zoom, you can. We're not gonna judge you if you need to grab lunch on your way out. If you can stay for a few extra minutes, it's gonna be worth it for you.
I'd say go grab some lunch right now. And then for those of you who want to sit in here and go through this real quick, we will. Because this is gonna be a continued conversation over.
It's
the
gonna
next duration
continue.
of time. But go grab some food. We don't want to keep you guys waiting for that. Say grab some food quick.